to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today we are doing Battle of the Eye Primer ABH versus P. Louise. I feel like this is almost like the showdown of the century over here because all the talk, especially with the P. Louise piece over the past year, has been astronomical. And ABH primer is catching some fire too because a lot of people are saying that this is an exact dupe for this one. We are going to test that out to see if it's correct or debunk it in this video. Thank you to Bella, my friend. She sent me this base along with the Riviera palette. I'm going to be doing a first impression on this palette. If it is not yet up, it will be soon, so be sure to check back. But she sent me this base along with it because she just wasn't in love with the product. So I am very excited and curious to use this myself to see what all the talk is about. My cheap ass couldn't be bothered to pay for international shipping for one thing, so that's why I didn't get it, even though I've been dying to get my hands on it. So let's see these two battle it out and go head to head. All right, I've already been on a journey today. My brows are like half on still. I sweated most of them off. I ran errands today. It is like 113 degrees out in the desert. So yeah, we're gonna clean these suckers up in a little bit. I have this one here that is like growing in the weirdest direction ever. But for now, I'm just gonna start by carving my brows out. A tip with the Anastasia primer, I know a lot of people had the same issue as me where it's just kind of blooping out everywhere. Store it like this. So I just stick it in one of the glass containers I have my brushes in. I store it this way. I don't have issues with it continuously trying to glop out. If I, shake it around a lot and start squishing it around, then it will start to continuously come out. But to stop it, just store it this way and you'll be good. From what I've heard with both primers, the littlest amount goes a long way. So even this amount, this would be good for both eyes. So I'm gonna have a little bit left over. Right now, the Anastasia primer only comes in one shade, but I believe Norvina tweeted out that they were working on coming out with different colors and different shades in this formula. I never know where a look is gonna lead me, so I go all the way to the bridge of my nose, I extend it outwards. I also do my under eyes, especially if I know I'm gonna be working with color. I always do my eyes first. I won't go this out if I'm just doing a neutral look. But I really want the colors to grasp on and pop. So once I have that on, I just go in with this sponge to blend it out. This is the P. Louise. This is in the shade Rumor 2, so it is the second to lightest shade in this primer. It does look a little bit thicker compared to Anastasia. And it doesn't spread as far as Anastasia, so it's definitely a thicker consistency. All right, so that's spread it out and let it out easily. Obviously, this is a little bit closer to my skin tone than this one. Let's break it down and talk about prices before we go in with shadows. Both of these products are 15 milliliters. This one retails for €10. And that translates to about $11.21 American, which isn't that bad. However, the shipping is bad, and this is where I held off personally from buying it myself because shipping is just as much as the product. So you're looking close to probably $23 for this base, which is the exact price of the Anastasia base. The Anastasia base is definitely more than this. It is $23 versus like $11.21, but with shipping, they balance out to be about the same price. All right, let's go ahead and dive into shadows. The first thing I've noticed with this base is that the P. Louise is a lot tackier, it's a lot grabby, so you definitely want to use more packing motions and swiping motions to get the transition shade on. I just know that it's not really wanting to move around quite as easily as an Anastasia base. And because of that, I'm definitely building up more pigment on this side than the other side.
One thing that I'm noticing watching footage back is that when I'm applying the shadow on the P. Louise side, my eyelid is definitely like getting dragged around a lot more, and that's because the P. Louise base is super tacky. So using windshield wiper motions, circular motions, swirly motions isn't really the best for this base, and typically I do those motions when I'm doing a more neutral eye. However, when I'm packing color on and using bright looks and bright eyeshadows, that's when I really want to pack it on to have the pigment there. So P. Louise, in my opinion, is best for those kind of looks, whereas Anastasia, it works for both.
I mean, that's a really pretty shadow. Alright, so far here are the two eyes. Looks pretty identical. Like I said, the only real difference is that the P. Louise base was a lot tackier and gripped onto the shadows, so really hard to just like kind of lightly fluff shadows around, whereas Anastasia's side, it's not quite as tacky, so it's a little bit easier to blend. But with P. Louise, I feel like no matter what look you're doing, you definitely have to go with those packing motions. But I feel like the payoff of the shadow is equal on both eyes. What do you guys think so far? Okay, this is interesting. On the lower lash line, I feel like it's not sticking as much to the base, and it's not as pigmented as the Anastasia side. I feel this side went on more pigmented and this side went on a little bit weaker, which is kind of the opposite of what happened on top of the lid. So here is the final look with the eyeshadows. I thought it was interesting that it wasn't as pigmented on the P. Louise side down on my lower lash line. That was a little bit odd, but I was able to build it up. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm going to go ahead, finish up the rest of my makeup, and be back to wrap this up and let you know my final thoughts. All right, so here is the completed makeup look. You basically got my thoughts along the way. I can't really say like if there's one standout winner, but if I had to break it down personally, of course I need to use this more. I'll be using it in the next couple eye looks that I do so I can get used to it, because even with any primer, it's a little bit of an adjustment. You can't truly base something off of a first impression. You kind of got to learn to work with it. So I'll be playing around with this one more, but I prefer my ABH primer because it's easier to work with. The shadows blend out easier and nicer. For me, the shadows were a little bit more pigmented. Like when I packed on the white, it was a little bit more bright on this side. I had to pack more white shadow onto this eye. This eye definitely grips shadows more, so I think for more intricate, bright color, pigmented looks, this base may have a little bit of a leg up, but I still just really like the formulation of the Anastasia one. You don't need to set these down. I think it's best to work with them wet. But with any base, if you put too much on, it's going to get goopy, it's going to be messy. So if you tried something out and you didn't like it, try again with using the littlest amount of product as possible. That is how these are designed to work. Enough of my rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like a more in-depth video or a different tutorial with me using the P. Louise base, let me know. All of my Anastasia and Alyssa Edwards, this whole series, I use this base for, so that will be linked up above. So if you're curious to see how this applies with other shadows, with brighter shadows, that playlist will have all the answers for you. But yeah, if you'd like a more dedicated video just for this base alone with a bright, colorful look, let me know in the comments. And let me know what else you'd like to see from me here on my channel. On your way out, if you'd like to see more of my videos, check them out right here. Be sure to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it that you take time out of your day to hang with me. So I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.